happened. They try to take him out. I can't believe it. Well, there's part of it, whenever I told you, the Lord had me last night interceding for President Trump. And he said, Brandon, they will do it today. You must intercede. And I was up all night praying for him, and I was interceding. I mean, it was heavy intercession. And he told me, the prophecy that you gave about the ear will come to pass. And the bullet grazed his ear. It busted his ear, just like I told everybody. I saw blood flowing down his face, and the Lord said he would be spared. And when this happens, he would become radically born again, because the Lord spared his life today. And he would become baptized in the Holy Ghost, radically saved by the power of God. And I'm telling you, great revivals coming to America. This is another example of God's hand on 45. We've seen it. It just happened. It just happened. This is exactly what I prophesied. And it manifested even to the earlobe, that they missed him, and it grazed his ear and busted his eardrum. And I'm telling you all, God's hand in mercy is on this nation. There's going to be some hard days ahead, y'all, but I'm telling you, a massive revival is about to break forth in this land. And we're going to see one of the greatest harvest of souls this world has ever seen before. And, like I said, I don't try to focus on all the doom and gloom people think I do, and I come on and prophesy about all the doom and gloom all the time. I come on here to tell you about what Jesus is going to do too. And I warn you, I'm a watchman. That's my job. I warn you about what's coming. I warn you about the wealth transfer. I warn you about the dollar collapse. I warn you about a lot of things. And this is another example of one of the things I told you all to pray for him, to intercede for him, and that the angels would bear him up in their hands, lest we dash our foot against a stone, that no weapon formed against him would prosper. I intercede every single day for things that the Lord gives me, and he warns me about things, and he tells me, Brandon, this is coming. This is coming. This is coming. You got to pray for the volcano in Italy. You've got to warn those people, because I told you I saw a tsunami wave coming into the shore, and I saw hundreds of thousands of people perishing because of the tsunami wave coming in. And I've warned everybody about that. And now those volcanoes are coming up, and it's happening right now. And the major one has not happened, but But I believe, like I said, y'all, we have authority. I don't come on here and just tell you all this stuff and just drop these things like a fortune teller. I'm trying to tell you this so we can intercede and stop the plans of the enemy. We have authority to stop the devil and in his tracks. If you realize, when I come on here and I tell you all what the Lord's doing, and he says, hey, Brandon, I want you to go on there and warn the people what the enemy's trying to do. And, we have 50,000 people watch it. How many people are watching the video and praying? If Abraham, stood in the gap for Sodom and Gomorrah, and God, the Lord was willing to spare it, and he was interceding, and look at what happened. He kept coming back and saying, listen, I'm willing to spare the city if there be 5 righteous, 10 righteous, whatever. And then here we are. We have 50,000 people watching a video, and they're praying for peace and for protection. And by a watchman, like here I am, a watchman. I'm standing up on the wall, and I'm saying, look, there's a storm coming. And I warn everybody down below on the wall, from the wall, and saying, listen. And then everybody over there is preparing and praying and believing God for protection for President Trump, and praying for America. Look at what we can do if we join together as one, and we pray together as one, and we intercede as one, and we say, no, devil, thus far and no further. You will not touch these people. You will not touch our children. You will not touch our loved ones. They will come home. They will do this or whatever. And I believe there's power in unity and prayer. I believe with all my heart for these last days, Jesus is joining up a great army of believers that will stand in the gap for America, that will stand in the gap for the nations. The next thing the Lord warned me about was to pray for the Olympics. I warned you all to pray for the Olympics, pray for the aquatic center, pray for the train, a green train coming out of Germany. There's so many things that the Lord has given me. Praying for the baseball fields. I warned you all to pray for the baseball fields because of drones coming in. I warned you for this, to pray for these things because the enemy has plans. And if we can spoil his tactics and spoil his plans, then we win. We don't want these things to come to pass. Today was an example of prayer and intercession that Jesus came through, and the blood of the Lord protected President Trump today. I believe God's not done with him, and that there is a plan for him to bring a fix, basically, of what I want to say. Remember, I told you this. I said the dollar would crash, and that he would have to create a new currency that would be Canada and Mexico and America all together, creating a one currency, and that he would take pieces. And this is interesting because the way the Lord showed me, it was like a ship that was falling apart. Okay, and he took the pieces of the ship and made a new rocket ship. But he took this piece and that piece and that piece, but it didn't look like it would fly. The ship looked like it was all busted and messed up, and it was in pieces. But he took each piece by the wisdom of the Lord, because the Lord said, I will anoint him with wisdom like Solomon. And I saw him take these pieces, all of these pieces, and he put them all together and made a weird looking rock, like a plane, and it took off again. But it was a struggle. And the Lord told me, he said, I will create a new thing. I'm going to do a new thing. And it won't be as great as what it was, son, but it will fly again. And so I believe he was referring to America. I believe there's things that the Lord, like I told you about the oak trees. There's 4 oak trees, and the Lord said it would be I believe in my spirit, it was 4 years. And the storm came on suddenly. And I've warned you all about the holiday season with the hollyberry bush. Is that right? The hollyberry, the tree with the berries. And the Lord said it would be about the winter time, and to pray over the winter time. And the angel came to me and he told me, he said about the investments and about the cryptocurrencies and about things like that. And that there would be a wealth of laid up for the righteous, a transfer of wealth from the wicked laid up for the just, and it would happen. And there would be the people that are listening. It would not happen for everybody, because not everybody is listening. Not everybody wants it. But I believe the people who are hungry and that know that they need to support the kingdom in the last days with, people think, well, God doesn't need all that. It's what he uses right now. He needs the TV time. Churches, a lot of the churches need help with funding, with all kinds of stuff. But it takes people that are givers, paymasters, people that will give in the last days to help fund the gospel. We need that, because we have to be the salt. We have to be the people that are the head and not the tail, above and not beneath, and we'll go through and not go under. I believe that this is the hour that we stand out, that we take authority, we take our dominion, and we do what we're supposed to do. And Jesus uses us in these last days to bring in the greatest harvest of souls. And most people say, well, it'll happen after the rapture of the church. No, I'm believing before. I believe that God will do something huge right before the catching away, and then we'll have victory after the catching away. That God is not a God that loses. He's a God that's victorious in every area. He is victorious in the beginning. He's victorious in the end, and he's victorious in the middle. He's a God that is able to do exceedingly abundantly above all that we dare ask or think. He is not a defeated God. He is a victorious God. And he is abiding in us. So how much more should we be victorious? Because we have the victor inside of us. Greater is he that is in you, and he that is in me, than he that is in the world. Greater is he. Just think about that. If he's inside of us, we should be having victory too. And so I want to tell you all that there's a storm coming. There's a storm coming. But at the same time, there's a glorious outpouring. And there will be a great shaking come. And there will be a mighty move of God's presence on his church. And it's not all doom and gloom. But yet you need to know both sides. I can't sit here and tell you, sugarcoat everything and tell you all, everything's going to be great. No, there's going to be hard times for some people. And there's going to be a lot of people that go without if you're not listening to him and being prepared for what's coming. But there is a great move of God coming too. And I believe